Okay, if he goes to the Yankees, yeah, I mean, you got to factor he's going to the Yankees, first of all. You know he's going to go to the Yankees.
But I mean, that's two lefties, too.
That's true. Yeah, that could be one of the best rotations.
All right, moving on to the NFL. We have our three top games of the week, starting off with Kansas City at Indianapolis. Who wins?
I'm going with, I know Kansas City's 3-0. It's got to be Peyton Manning against Kansas City. They're not at Arrowhead. Arrowhead's one of the toughest places to play. They're at Lucas Oil or whatever the hell you call it nowadays. They're at the Colts Stadium. Peyton Manning cannot go another loss to the Chiefs.
I agree.
They just lost to Jacksonville, 1-2. He needs a win here to put them back in the conference. You know, you're already seeing that Baltimore and Pittsburgh are the class of the AFC right now. I think he needs a win to get back up there. I'm gonna go Colts pretty handily. I'm gonna go them 28-10.
I agree with what you said about Peyton Manning, where the Colts really need to win this game in order to keep themselves in this. And the Colts have been one of the greatest teams probably in the last decade, other than the Patriots.
Maybe better.
But they only won one Super Bowl. But
they have a better winning percentage in the Super Bowl.
They do. But at the same time, I think this might be the collapse of Indy. I think their team is finally going down. They're getting older. I mean, Adai's not what he used to be. Peyton Manning's still, obviously, probably the best quarterback.
He's getting older, too.
He's getting older, but...
Reggie Williams getting older?
But, I mean, the only thing they can do right now is...
And that defense does not look good.
No, their defense sucks.
Against the pass, they are not a very good team.
Jamal Charles is going to tear shit up.
Yeah, they are. But, I mean, Peyton Manning's going to tear up
the Chiefs. I
think losing Austin Collie, if they don't have Austin Collie, that's big.
I say the Chiefs win this game. I say it's going to be maybe like 28-23.
Reggie Wayne, that's another point. Brandon Flowers is going to be covering Reggie Wayne. He's almost a shutdown corner. If they don't have Austin Collie,
they're screwed.
They could be screwed.
Yeah. All right, moving on to the next game. Tennessee at Dallas. Start off with you this time, Brian. Who wins?
I'm going Tennessee. I mean, you can run the ball against Dallas pretty easily.
Yep.
And Chris Johnson's the best running back in the game. I mean, there's really no way to argue that. I mean, I can see him putting up 150 yards this week and a couple of touchdowns.
Okay.
And Vince Young can follow that up. I mean, he only needs to throw maybe 1 or 2 touchdowns. And he just has to manage the clock. Because if Dallas goes back to running the ball, which is what they should be doing with those 2 awesome running backs in Jones and Barber, they're going to be solid with that passing game. But at the same time, I can't see them beating Tennessee.
All right. You could run all day against Dallas, but that's if you had a quarterback and some wide receivers, some weapons. Dallas knows that Tennessee is going to be running all day with Chris Johnson, the best running back in the game. I don't care what you say about Adrian Peterson. He is the most dominant running back in the game right now. They're going to be stacking the box 7 large. Chris Johnson cannot run against 3-4 defenses. Dallas is a 3-4 defense. They're going to have 7 guys up in the box stopping Chris Johnson. If you're going to stop Chris Johnson, then you're going to look for the pass. You're going to trust Vince Young to get out of that jam. It's at Dallas. I think Tony Romo's going to, after their bye week, I think they have 2 weeks to game plan against Tennessee. I'm going with Dallas right here.
I still have to disagree with what you said about the passing game. I mean, think about the first 2 weeks. Vince Young and Nate Washington hooked up quite a few times. He hasn't done much recently. I think he could have a breakout game.
Okay, put Mike Jenkins on him. Mike Jenkins, Terrence Newman. He's shut out.
But I mean, you can't just cover one receiver on that team because they don't really have a number one. I mean...
Okay, but they don't have any... It's not like they have Peyton Manning or Tom Brady throwing them the
No,
ball.
they don't. But also, if they can get any passing game going at all, do you remember the one play they did last year every single game that worked every single time?
What, a Wildcat or something?
Nope. Vince Young bootleg, all right, with Chris Johnson running beside him.
Okay.
Do you remember that?
Yep.
Vince Young comes around and Chris Johnson's there. If they go to cover Chris Johnson, Vince Young takes off with the ball. If they go to Vince Young,
if they have 7 guys, in the box,
that's
all
in the
going
box,
over, all going after Vince Young and Chris Johnson.
But if he drops back to pass it and then cuts out to the side, wide open lane for either one of them to run.
All right, so you're going to run the bootleg all game?
No, but I mean, that could be an easy 40, 50-yard game.
All right, I'm going to go Dallas 35-10.
I'm going Tennessee in a very, very poor game, 23-20.
Okay.
All right, moving on to Monday Night Football. Probably the biggest game of the week. Minnesota at Jets. Take it away, Mitch.
I'm going Minnesota. You know, the Jets, Darrelle Revis, he's one of the most outspoken people in the game. Randy Moss gets traded to the Vikings, and after everybody's saying, oh, the Patriots made a bad move or whatever, Darrelle Revis says, oh yeah, he's still a slouch. He better step up and shut down Randy Moss this week. And I think he is. Darrelle Revis had his hamstring the other last 2 weeks ago when he faced him. I don't think he was milking that injury because he did sit up the next game.
Yeah.
He's back fully healthy this week. You know Brett Favre is going to want to gun it to Randy Moss all day. Darrelle Revis is going to be there. And also, this is the first game Brett Favre's back against the Jets, at Jets. There's tons of storylines here. You got Darrelle Revis versus Randy Moss. You got Jared Allen versus Darrelle Revis, a battle of the two best defensive players in the game.
The big trade that went down.
You got the big trade. Santonio Holmes coming back this game. It's a huge, huge game. And I think, Minnesota has one of the best lines in football. And Mark Sanchez...
You're talking about offensive or defensive, because they're both pretty good.
Both, but defensive. Mark Sanchez is not going to get under pressure. I think you can agree with that.
No.
So, if you're Jared Allen, the two Williams, and Edwards on him every play, I think that's going to be tough.
Yeah.
And, Dustin Keller, I think Dustin Keller's a difference maker. I think Dustin Keller's going to have a huge game, but in the end, I think Minnesota's going to take this.
I have one player for you to think about. Percy Harvin.
Percy Harvin.
Think about this. Darrelle Revis probably would have been covering Percy Harvin in this game, which will cut down anything that...
Oh, yeah,
Favre could
Percy
do there.
Harvin was their number one guy. But
Yeah.
then you can also say, what about Vicente Shanko?
No, but...
Greg
but
Camarillo? They're loaded.
Here's what I'm thinking. Percy Harvin has a ton of speed, okay?
Yep.
So him and Randy Moss are going to be streaking down the field all day long, all right? But Revis is now going to be on
I don't
Randy
think
Moss.
Percy Harvin's really a downfield receiver. He's more of a cut.
He can be a cut player, but that's when he's throwing against...
He might be a downfield receiver now because there's only going to be one guy on it.
Exactly.
Sure.
I mean, he's going to be able to run by anybody pretty much. Revis is probably the only guy on that team that can cover him. I think he's going to have a huge game. He's not my pick for this week's, fantasy players, but
I think it's going to be a passing showdown.
oh yeah, but
And I think the Minnesota has Jets by passing. I think Santonio is going to be pretty much a bust for that team. I think, but Minnesota's going to shut down that running game. Sean Green and LT, and I think the same to AP. I don't think AP is going to be.
I think this is going to be the game where Brett Favre really steps up, though.
Sure.
He has too many weapons not to.
He has to.
But I could think Brett Favre might throw a lot of picks this game.
Yeah,
he's going to have a lot
I'm not going to say he's going to have a
he's
great
going to be
game.
anxious this game.
He's not going to throw 400 yards with 4 touchdowns. There's no way he's doing that. But I can see like a 275, maybe 2 touchdowns.
I think this is going to let
AP
down. I
has
think this is
another
going to let down everybody. I think the Minnesota's going to win 17-13. It's going to be a very bad game. Because
I think it's going to be
hyped
a
up.
little more high scoring than that, but not much.
They're both good defenses.
Yeah, they are. But
So what do you think score's going to be?
I think the Vikings are probably going to blow out the Jets.
Really?
Because I don't think the Jets can go against their defense. I think it's going to be probably...
Yeah, but can Minnesota go against the Jets defense?
I think they can. Because if you think about it, the Jets have a few top players, but all around they're really not that solid. You can find holes in them if you attack it right.
Go down that line. They're pretty good.
I know, but I mean, if you can get by Revis, you can win the game.
Yeah, but can you get by Revis?
I think they can with
I
all
don't
the
think
weapons
so.
they have. They have Harvin, Camarillo, Berrien, without even talking about Moss, plus AP.
Well, no, I think they're going to win, but I think it's going to be in defensive reasons. I think the offense is going to be not as good as everyone thinks.
I'm saying 24-17 Vikings.
Right.
Having said that, who are your 2 fantasy picks of the week?
All right, well, this week we're doing it a little differently. We have one player each that we're going to start and one player we're not going to start.
Yep.
Sean Hill's my pick for this week. I mean, he's been having phenomenal games. I mean, you can't really deny
I
that.
like that pick.
And on top of that, now he's going against St. Louis. Last week against...
St. Louis has been good, though.
But last week against Green Bay, he had a very, very good game. And he's averaging 250 yards a game, and he has 5 touchdowns with a 70 QB rating. I mean, I can just see him destroying the St. Louis offense.
And who are you saying this week?
I'm sitting Larry Fitzgerald. I know that's going to be a shock to a lot of people, but he's averaging 52 yards per game.
Derrick
And
Henry
he'll-
can't get the ball to him.
But
Well, no, it's Max Hall.
yeah,
So-
Max Hall on
Yeah,
top
well,
of that.
True.
Nobody can get the ball with Larry.
I mean,
so.
Max Hall wasn't even on the team going into the preseason, and now he's starting for them. And there's no other wide receiver on the team. I mean,
Steve, when they had Anquan Bolden, they could throw Steve Preston in the slot. Now Steve Preston needs to play on the outside. He's not an outside receiver.
no, and
There's 3 guys on Larry Fitzgerald, and I mean, with Kurt Warner, they can get around with Max Hall, who was not even good in college last year.
Yeah.
He's on that team. Derek Anderson. They had Matt Leinart. They traded him. They Kurt Warner retired. Derek Anderson got benched. Now they have some Mormon coming up from college from last year, and he's not going to get it done either.
I just can't see Larry Fitzgerald doing anything this week, or maybe for the rest of the season, unless he goes to another team, like you said.
I like both those picks.
If I'm a fantasy owner, I'm getting rid of Fitzgerald right now if I can.
Well, maybe you might want to wait till he gets a good game before you want to sell, because that's selling really
well.
well.
But at the same time, he's still at that point where he could go, or he could not. I mean, he could take off.
I'd wait another week.
But the more you wait, the more chances there are of him getting worse.
All right.
Right now, his name value is still keeping.
These are my 2 picks.
No picks.
I'm going Pierre Garcon. Pierre Garcon is back. Like we said, Austin Collie might be out, and Reggie Wayne has Brandon Flowers covering him. I think Pierre Garcon is going to get a lot of touches from Peyton Manning on the other side. Peyton Manning is going to tear apart that defense. I think that defense is a little overrated. And Pierre Garcon is going to just dominate right there. In my pick that I'm actually sitting, unless you have a very deep league, like I said, Randy Moss against Darrelle Revis. I think he's going to get a lot of looks. I think Darrelle Revis is going to shut him down.
Yeah. I also have one other player I just want to throw out there. A lot of people are talking about Lawrence Maroney, thinking that he has to break out at some point.
Yeah, Denver sucks.
I mean, he is starting this week.
Denver's running game sucks.
But I mean, he's pretty much the only running back they have right now.
Yeah.
But he is going against Baltimore.
I think Patriots made a very good move. Lawrence Maroney's not even worth the 7th round pick. He's not good at all.
I mean, he has talent, but he doesn't know how to use
He
it.
was a bust.
Yeah.
Huge. Go.
I don't have for this week. I don't have a player that I can think of right now to sit. But for my player to play, it'd have to be Ryan Terrain, running back now for the Washington Redskins, having taken over the role for Clinton Portis. Him out. He's out 4 to 6 weeks. He's facing Green Bay. Even though they're 3-1, I do believe the Redskins can pressure them into a very close game. So
I like that pick.
have to be Ryan Terrain.
I like it.
All right.
Moving on.
All right, moving on to NHL. Game started yesterday, so it's very exciting. So, Mitch? Who's your picks in the East and the West, and why?
All right. Well, I'm gonna go. In the East, I think it's Washington Capitals' year. They got let down the last couple of years. I think Semyon Varlamov's gonna really come on to his own as a goalie this year. That defense is great with Mike Green. I really like that line. Nicholas Backstrom might be one of the best centers in the game. Throw him with Alexander Ovechkin, Alex Semen, Brock Lake. They're a very, very good team this year. They're great at home. They're great on the road. They're well coached. I like them a lot in the East. Another team that can challenge them, possibly the Bruins. I think the Bruins are a little overrated. I think people are kind of overdoing it. I mean, they got lucky last year in the playoffs. I don't think Nathan Horton and Tyler Seguin's that big of a move this year.
I think what they should do is trade Tim Thomas.
Well, yeah, they've been trying to do that.
But I mean, if they can pull something off, that's going to make their team a lot better.
Peter Chiarelli's been trying to do that the whole offseason, but
Yeah.
the problem is nobody wants to take in that cap hit. Same trying to do that with Blake Wheeler. I don't think he did a good job trying to find a trade partner with Dennis Wyman. That worked out. Also, another team that challenged them in the East is New Jersey. Pittsburgh is good too, but New Jersey, I think Ilya Kovalchuk was a great signing. Way too much money, way too much years. 17 years? It's ridiculous. But I think that team's really good with it. Zach Parise and Ilya Kovalchuk, and still Martin Brodeur, this old in his age. I think he's still really talented.
Plus 40 wins last year.
Yep. In the West, that's tougher. Chicago's a great team. They lost Bufflin. They lost Antoniemi. I don't think Marty Turco's going to be that great. I'm going to say they're 5th seed this year. I'm going with the Vancouver Canucks. I like them. Daniel Sedin, Henrik Sedin in the same line. I know you like them too.
Yep.
Roberto Luongo is one of the best goalies in the game. I love Vancouver this year. Another team that can challenge them is the LA Kings. Drew Doughty and Jack Johnson, one of the best defensive pairing in the game. Add Dustin Brown, Ante Kopitar, Jonathan Quick, Jonathan Bernier. I like them 2 goalies.
Now, as you two know, and I'm going to let you guys know this, I'm not the biggest hockey watcher.
Okay.
I used to be, but I've kind of fallen out of it. I'm trying to get back into it. So I'm clearly not going to be as in-depth as you.